Oh, nice! I find it quite amazing how far flashlights have come in the last decade. Back in the day, this was the sort of thing you could expect to purchase. Mostly plastic, with a fairly unimpressive light output on them. This one might be a decent bulb in here, but back in the 80s when I first started buying flashlights, the lights were very dim, the bulbs are very, very dim indeed. This is not the one of the best ones, I don't think. As I say, it's plastic. The other thing I don't like about these things is the slightly iffy build quality of them, with rattly reflectors and not particularly very good ways you can see build quality and what have you. Here's the bulb itself, just fits in there, and you've got a horrible plastic little bit that screws in just here into a metal thread. Sometimes you can get it cross-threaded. As you can hear, it rattles quite well. This thing here runs 3 D batteries. As you can see, I've got 3 different ones here. This particular, well, they've all been in here quite a while. Look at the state of this one, look. But yeah, so I've got 3 different, shouldn't run 3 batteries, really different makes, but oh, let's have a look at inside it. You've got little horrible little contact there. Right down the bottom there, if we was to take a look, you can see the rail down the side there that brings the power to the front connection here, and there's a walloping great big spring down the bottom there. Hopefully you can see that. I'm using a contemporary flashlight. Look at the difference, how small this thing is, made of aircraft grade aluminium as opposed to plastic. And we just chuck the batteries back inside the torch, put the cap on if we can get it on. Sometimes there's a struggle to get it lined up. There we go, and hopefully it should work. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. I've found in the past, you know, you can hit the button and you have to, you know, tap it to get it to work. Sometimes they will, sometimes they won't. They're a little bit iffy back in the day there. This is the first modern EDC flashlight I purchased. As you can see, it's a little ring cyber light. Got a little tail clicky there. Puts out a decent amount of light. I still carry this one today actually in my EDC kit. There is another one I've been carrying very recently, and that is this little JetBeam Jet-U, Jet Pico, a single AAA battery in here. This has got 3 settings to it. Switch it on. It's got a bit of a memory effect as well. There's the bright setting. There's your little moonlight setting, off, back on for the second setting and the third setting. And I would imagine that this will walk all over this little fellow just here. I've got its larger brother, the JetBeam Jet-U MK. This is a nice bit of kit as well. And there's also this very nice Lumintop EDC05. As you can see, they're all considerably smaller than this old-fashioned plastic effort here. They will walk all over it. I'm sure they're all brighter. I'll tell you what we'll do, guys. We'll take the little JetBeam Pico outside along with this fella here, and we'll see just how bad this thing is. Okay, so here we are outside with the oldie worldy flashlight here. There we go, it's shining up the garden there. Look at the little teeny yellowy dot you get. You just about make out that holly bush up there, I think. It's just dreadful. Let's just put on the JetBeam Jet-U MK. Right, so that's in its moonlight setting. There's a second setting, and already it's walking all over it. Right, here's full power, and this is with a single AA battery. And don't forget, the old-fashioned flashlight here runs 3 D cells. It's just pathetic, really. Look at the difference. It's amazing, isn't it? Look at that, look. Still, you know, back in the day, we thought these were great. Even my old ring Cyberlight, which must be about 5 or 6 years old now, that's a whole lot brighter. Still a lot better than the... look, see the difference again? Okay, here's the little JetBeam Pico here, the Jet Pico, the single AAA flashlight here. let's put it on. There we go. Look how bright that is, look. And that will walk all over the old school flashlight. Look at that, it's just a little dot of yellow light out there, and this floods more or less the whole garden. Look at the difference. It's just amazing how far they've come in the last decade or so, really. Right then, let's take a look at the bulb that this fellow runs. Screw that part, take this out of here. Right, here is the little bulb, and it's a little krypton bulb. I've got another one here. These two are slightly different. This is the original one from the flashlight and is marked, can I see that? Let's have a look. This one's marked KPR, which is krypton, I guess. Krypton bulb. Let's have a look what else has it got on there. 103, 3.5 volts, 0.75 of an amp, Japan. This one here is marked Philips, Krypton, PR102. It's 2.4 volts and 7 amps. So that's the difference between those two there. Both of these bulbs will give completely different results, or slightly different results, in the old flashlight. Let's try the original one. I'll shine it onto the workshop wall, but this is the original bulb. Okay, here is that original bulb. Check the pattern out there. And here is the second bulb. As you can see, it's given very much of a different pattern, and possibly a little bit brighter, I think. Don't think there's a great deal in it, but it might be because it's running a little bit hotter, because it's supposed to be 2.4 volts. I believe it's 2.4 volts, and this has got about 4.5 volts in it, so with these three batteries. Anyhow, I was having a look over at Banggood the other week, and I came across these little fellows here. These are, as you can see, I've not opened the packaging yet, guys. They're still unsealed. Not taking them out at all, haven't tried them at all. But as you can see, they are an LED replacement for the standard bulb. Let's break one out and have a look at it. If we can get into it, that is. Well, here we go. Let's have a look at it. These are marked as being 6 volt, by the way. They're 6 volt according to packaging just here. Yeah, 6 volts. So whether it'll work in this flashlight is another thing. As you can see, they are a more or less identical copy of the standard bulb, except we have a little LED emitter at the front here, as opposed to an element like in this one here. And as I say, I haven't tried these yet, so what we'll do is we'll pop this one into the flashlight and we'll have a look. Move that one over there. Take the head off the flashlight. Remove the little carrier. Pop out the bulb we got in there. Pop him over there. Put in the LED bulb. Is it going to be? Is it going to work? That's the question. It's in there, guys, as you can see. So, put it back together again. I'm taking you along for the ride on this. I've not tried these yet, so I don't know if they're going to work or not. But let's give it a go. Oh, there we go. Look at that. It kind of wants to work, but not facing downwards for some reason or another. Oh, there we are. Oh, what a strange light. Hang on. I know what's going on here. It's not making contact with the spring in the head. Hang on a sec. Yeah, it's not making very good spring contact, so I'm going to have to see if I can lift that spring up a little bit. I'll get a little screwdriver in there and we'll give it a go again. Where are we? Here we are, a little screwdriver. Get that down the end there. Lift the spring up a bit. There we go, because there's a little spring down there, as you can see. Right, it's popping back in again. Now we're definitely making contact, look. Right, give it a... put it back together again. Popping back in. It's always fiddly because they get cross-threaded, look. For goodness sake. Right, there we go. A bit of a fiddle to take these things apart. Right, so we've got it back together again. Yeah, it's very, look at that. So we have got a slightly different amount of light going on here. As you can see, it's more sort of blue, more LED style light. It's very, very blue in fact. Let's try it on the workshop wall again. Okay, so here we are on the wall of the workshop again. There we go. It's an even stranger pattern over here. I don't know how bright that actually is. Be interesting to find out. We'll better take it outside, but it's very blue, isn't it? Let's get it outside and have a look. Okay guys, so we're out here with my Claris. What is this? It's the XT12 GT flashlight. Very nice indeed. Tactical flashlight. Right. So there is the. That's how bright this thing is. Very bright indeed. It's very cold out here as well, so it's nice and bright. So we'll turn that one off and get the cheapo, the old school flashlight in here, shall we? Right, here we are, the old school flashlight. Where's the button on the top in the dark? Here we are. Right, so there we go. Yeah. Yeah, that's not so good, is it? It's just as bad as an LED, you know, it's an LED bulb in here, but it's almost just as bad as the other one. As you can see, there's not a great deal. Where's my little Pico, JetBeam Pico here? That's on its lowest setting. So even the little JetBeam is still walking all over the top of it, look. So yeah, great. I mean, it's not too bad. I mean, it looks a lot better in real life than it does through the camera lens. But yeah, you could get away with using it. It would work, but it's not so good really. I think if it was to work more up close and personal, here's the Claris again. These shrubs here are only 3 or 4 feet away, not very far away at all. So there's the Claris. Here we have the little JetBeam Pico. Just get the other flashlight over here. There we go. It just doesn't throw out much light at all. It's more of a sort of like a, it's too concentrated, isn't it? Although you can't see it through there is some a bit of sort of like light around the outside of it all. I mean, you can still see, you can see it there on my hand, look. But it doesn't show up on the camera at all. But you could just about get away with it. But I mean, you know, with modern LED flashlights, EDC flashlights, or the tactical flashlight, there really isn't any point at all. Where's the little JetBeam again? There's a little JetBeam, look. So turn that one off for a second. There we go. So you know, you might as well purchase yourself a modern EDC flashlight. Really, much better. It's amazing, you know, the difference in output. So in reality then, if you're still hanging on to these old style of flashlights, back in the early 80s I had an Everready. It was red and white like you see here. I had hours of fun with that because, you know, I had nothing else, and that was it. You know, they were great. But today, this great big thing running 3 D cells. There's not a patch on the Claris. This runs an 18650. Very bright, very nice indeed. I like that. And of course, don't forget these things have multiple functions as well. We have strobes. Some of them have like SOS or beacon. You have umpteen different settings, as you can see here. So you just step it up and down. So you can't do that with the old flashlights. It's just on and off, and that's it. Even the weird pattern you got going on there, so it's just on and off. And look at this little tiny thing here. Look, this is a single AAA battery on here. This little JetBeam, and it completely wipes out the old-fashioned, the old-school type of flashlight entirely. It's just not worth having these things anymore. So if you've still got one of these kicking about, it doesn't even seem like it's worth putting an LED bulb in it, to be honest with you. I mean, it might improve the run time on the batteries. I think it probably would actually improve the run time. But you might as well get yourself a one of the more modern EDC or tactical flashlights. It's just not worth them anymore, really. Not worth it at all. Okay then, guys and girls, because I know there are girls who are out there watch this, ladies, girls, etc. They're all out there watching, as well as the men and the guys. So yeah, they're all out there watching. So just a quick hello to all the ladies watching. Yeah, so as we've seen then, I can't see the point in keeping hold of these things anymore. If you've got them, you might as well just ditch them, send them for recycling, send them to the charity shop or whatever. Get yourself a modern LED EDC flashlight. This little thing here, look how much easier it is to carry this. You don't even know you're carrying it. compared with this thing here, this monstrous great big thing, it's got nowhere near the output of this. I mean, this has got there we go, there's the moonlight setting. Even the moonlight settings, you've got a much better pattern as well. Don't forget, guys, you get a much better pattern with the modern LED flashlight. Look at that, much better pattern. There's been a whole bunch of improvements in like reflector design, electronics in these things, because don't forget this whole thing is driven directly via the batteries by some slightly dodgy springy style contacts in here. These ones have much better springs, and they're run from a small electronic circuit, so you know you get the best out of the battery and the light output as well. So yeah, what I would do is just get rid of these old things and get yourself a modern EDC flashlight, an LED one. They're much better. And look at that. Which one would you rather carry about with you guys? You tell me which one you'd rather carry about, and I'll tell you which one I would rather carry around with me on a daily basis, and it'll be this thing here. Okay then, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoy this little review here. These I can't remember how much these little LED bulbs were now, but what I might do, because these are 6 volt, and this is about 4.5 volts with these 3 batteries in here, 3 1.5 volt batteries, 4.5 volts. It might be worth me having a look, see if I can get one that runs off slightly less voltage, if there's one such thing available, because as I say, these are rated at 6 volts. So yeah, I might try and get myself a slightly lower voltage one, see if it runs differently. But anyway, yeah, I hope you enjoyed popping over to Rathbone Manor, taking a look at these different bulbs here, these LED bulbs for these old school flashlights. As I say, I can't really see any point in keeping an old school flashlight anymore, unless of course you really are used to them and you've still got one kicking about. But yeah, I've got rid of mine, and I tend to use these things now. I've got a whole collection of more modern flashlights. They're much better by far. Alright then guys, well, thanks for popping over, thanks for taking a look, and thanks for watching, and I do hope you'll pop over again in the very near future, because I'm sure I'll have something else interesting for you to take a look at. Alright guys, I'll catch you laters!